right now. Your timeline is probably split into two camps. People dragging Jonasi in the comments and people debating whether Joyce should have left a long time ago. But here is what I think most of the conversations are missing. This show isn't actually about polygamy. Not really. Underneath the multiple wives and secrets, the polygamist is a study in power, betrayal, pride, loyalty, and people do when life doesn't give them the outcome they were promised. So today, I'm not doing a recap, I'm doing a breakdown, character by character, of what the show is actually trying to tell us. By the end, I think you will watch the rest of the season differently. Let's start with the setup. Quick context for anyone just joining. Joyce Gomorrah. Believe she was living the dream. Successful husband, wealth, status, a beautiful family on paper. She had it all. Then a world cracks open when she discovers her husband Jonasi has built an entire second life, multiple women, countless secrets. From that one discovery, everyone around her is forced into a choice, including me. Yeah, that choice and how differently each character answers it is really the engine of this whole story. Jealousy, power without accountability. Yes, as I said, let's start with the man at the center of it all. Jealousy represents something a lot of us have seen in real life. Power without accountability. It believes money, success, and influence by it, the right to make decisions without ever facing the consequences of them. But here is the lesson. The show keeps cycling back to success does not replace character. Being a provider doesn't cancel out betrayal. And every secret you are carrying, no matter how well hidden, eventually becomes a weight you have to put down somewhere. The takeaway from Jonasi's arc, a person's greatest achievement, was never what they built, it was what they preserved. If Jonasi represents unchecked power, Joy, on the other hand, represents the cost of it. Yes, Nolukuya Radio. Our joy is pain, resilience, pride, heartbreak, and slowly self-discovery. But what struck me most is how the show uses art to make a quiet but important point. Never you build your identity entirely around a relationship. Self-worth should not depend on being chosen by someone else. Here is the shift in our hack, where resistance starts giving way to something closer to acceptance. And you realize acceptance isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's the stronger choice. Which brings me So the most important line of our story. Sometimes the hardest person to save is yourself. Our next character is Margesh. Loyalty you can actually give. Margesh is the character I think underrated in most discussion about this show. It represents loyalty and responsibility. He's been hurt by the same family betrayal as everyone else, but he still shows a concern about the well-being of the people around him, especially the children. His lesson is simple but easy to forget in real life. Pain doesn't give you permission to become distracted. Family is demonstrated through action, not titles. His takeaway might be the most quotable line in the whole show. Real strength is shown in how you treat people when you have been treated unfairly. Our next character, Joyce's mother, the voice of wisdom. Every story like this needs an outside voice. Someone who can see what emotion has blinded the main character to. That's Joyce's mother. She represents wisdom and perspective. She sees what Joyce in the middle of our own heart simply cannot see. Yes, our lessons land hard. Love should never cost you your dignity. Pride can keep people trapped in situations long after they should have left. Peace is worth more than appearances. Our takeaway is one a lot of us need to hear from someone in our own life. Sometimes the people who love us most tell us the truth we least want to hear. The other women, different answers to the same question. Here is where the show gets more nuanced than people give it credit to. The other women in Jonas's life aren't one flat archetype. They represent different responses to the same man. Some seeking security, some love, some status, some validation. The lesson underneath that not every opportunity is worth pursuing. Being chosen by someone unavailable is not the same as being valued. Competition rarely creates happiness. It just creates more competition. Their collective takeaway: winning a person who lacks integrity is not a real victory. Our next character, the children. They are the silent victims. The children's character are the least screen time during the most emotional work in the story. They represent the silent victims while the adults were fighting for love, power, or revenge. The children slowly absorb consequences they had. The lesson here is one every adult should safely. Every adult decision affects future generations. Children watch far more than they listen. Their takeaway is the line from this old truth that stayed with me the longest. The choices we make today become someone else's childhood dreams tomorrow. What the show is actually asking a lot of you, I think, the lesson of the polygamist is don't trust a cheating husband. Sure, that's in there, but I think that's the surface level reading. The deeper question the show is actually asking are the deeper question the show is actually asking are bigger than one bad marriage. What happens when power goes unchecked? What happens when people confuse love with possession? What happens when pride prevents healing? And what happens when adults put their own desires above their responsibilities? The show answers every time is the same: chaos. 3 lessons worth taking with you. If you take nothing else from this breakdown, take these 3 things. First, character matters more than success. Money can build you a house, but character is what builds home. Second, protect your dignity. Never fight so hard to hold on to a relationship that you end up losing yourself in the process. Third, every choice has a ripple effect. One person's selfish decisions doesn't just affect them, it's moved through spouses, siblings, children, and entire families, sometimes for years. That's why I think the polygamist has stuck with so many of us beyond the gossip and the group chat reactions. The most memorable characters in this show were never the richest or the most powerful. They were the ones who reminded us that integrity, wisdom, responsibilities, and self-worth or self-respect are what actually hold a family together before everything else falls apart. If this breakdown gave you a different way of seeing the show, let me know in the comments. I want to know which character act